Hi, everybody. My name is Cara Erwin. I work with the Springfield-Greene County Health Department, and today I'm here to talk to our expecting WIC clients about how to get registered for that all-important COVID-19 vaccine. So exciting news, those of you who are expecting mamas are now eligible to receive a vaccine, and we do have an opportunity for you to do so, and I'm going to walk you through that process today. We're going to talk about how to register in a program called Vaccine Navigator, and then how to actually get scheduled. Basically, Vaccine Navigator is a process to get registered for the vaccine. It ensures that you are currently eligible for the vaccine under state guidelines. It can be found at covidvaccinemo.gov/navigator, but we're going to bring you to it and talk you through that here in just a second. But first, let's talk a little bit about that major question. Is it safe for pregnant women to get the vaccine? The answer is yes. Pregnant women are recommended to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Pregnant women who contract COVID-19 actually have an increased risk of severe illness. And additionally, women who are pregnant with COVID-19 might be at an increased risk of adverse pregnancy outcomes. For these reasons, we do at the health department recommend that you receive your COVID-19 vaccine. However, we also want to make sure that you talk to your healthcare provider first. Talk to your OBGYN, make sure that they're okay with you getting the vaccine. And if they give you the thumbs up, we definitely want you to pursue this option. Another question that we get is, can the vaccines cause infertility? At this time, there's no link between any authorized COVID-19 vaccine and infertility. We can say that with some certainty. Another common question is, can I get the vaccine if I'm breastfeeding? The COVID vaccines are not thought to be a risk to breastfeeding mothers and their infants. Women who are breastfeeding are a part of a group recommended to receive a COVID-19 vaccine and may choose to be vaccinated. Again, if you have questions or you're not sure, we definitely recommend that you speak with your physician before pursuing the vaccination option. Once your doctor gives you the okay, you're ready to get your vaccine, and the first thing you need to do is get registered, which is what I'm going to show you right now. So you're going to want to get registered at the Vaccine Navigator, which is the state of Missouri's registration page for vaccine. And this is what it looks like. You can find it at covidvaccine.mo.gov/navigator. We'll share that short link with you. And here's what it looks like. So all you're going to do is click the Register Now button, and it's going to take us through a number of questions that we should be able to answer. This gives us some general information about the vaccination process here in the state of Missouri. It's first going to ask us if we've previously received a first dose, so I'm going to say no. It wants to know our personal information, so I'm going to enter some pretend information here. If you do have a cell phone, we recommend you put it in because you can receive scheduling information through a text. So we'll go ahead and please confirm. Wants to know our address. My zip. You will put in your race and whether you're Hispanic or Latino. Your gender. Are you currently employed? You're still eligible no matter what, so just answer honestly. If you have a private event or employer code, you will click no. And then it asks if you have any of the following medical conditions. And this is where, as you can see, pregnancy is listed. And so you will say yes. Do you have a unique clinical situation that requires you to get a vaccination now? This would mean if you have some sort of risk factor that means your doctor wants you to get vaccinated now, but it's not on this list, you would click yes. But for right now, we're just going to click no. Do any of these phase 2 groups describe you? Disproportionately affected, homeless, or none of the above? You can choose. Describe your current insurance status. You will not be billed for vaccine at this time. The state of Missouri is committed to a completely free vaccination experience. However, some vaccinators do have the ability to bill insurance, not you. And so it is helpful if you select the correct category. Now there are some screening questions. It wants to know if you've had a severe allergic reaction. I'm not going to read each of these, but I do recommend you do as you register through. Are you breastfeeding or pregnant? We'll say yes. And then, have you been vaccinated recently? This is any vaccination. Click no. This is the privacy practices. You'll want to read through here and make sure that you understand everything that you're reading. There are some links to some additional information if you would like. And then once you've agreed to everything, you will click I agree. This is another consent form you'll want to read through carefully. You can read on the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine, and soon the Johnson & Johnson information will be added here as well. And then you'll certify that you've answered all the questions on the form truthfully. You'll click I accept. And then it will tell you that you have been grouped in phase 1B tier 2. As a member of tier 2, you will be contacted to schedule the vaccination appointment via email because you are now eligible for vaccine. You will click this button to submit your information. I'm going to go ahead and do that because this is the very important number that you will need to write down and hold on to after you have registered. This is the number that you will need to schedule both your first dose vaccine and your second dose. So write it down and keep it in a safe spot. So the next step then, once you've registered, again, you write this number down and you keep it handy, is to go ahead and schedule. And we will give you a link to an event that you are invited to. And right now we know that there is one happening on March 5th. And so I'm going to put in my link. So this is the site where you will get registered for a vaccine. You can see some instructions at the top. This is an invite-only event. So this is for expecting WIC clients only. Appointments scheduled by any other individuals will be canceled. I mentioned here that you need to first register through the Vaccine Navigator, and then it mentions a little bit more information on eligibility. So once you see your different time slots that are available, you can pick one that works for you and click on the register button. When this comes up, you can certainly sign in and create an account if you would like to, but you do not have to. So you can also click proceed as guest. And this is what the registration form looks like. So I'm just going to fill in my information. And my phone number, the same information that you use from Vaccine Navigator. If you're the one filling this out, you can just click yes, participant is the same as above. If for some reason you're registering for someone else, you would have to fill this in. But for now, I'm registering myself, so I'm going to click yes. I have already entered my phone number and email, so I don't need to enter that again. And this is where you put in your patient ID number. And again, that's the patient ID number that was given to you through Vaccine Navigator. It's also going to ask you what phase you are in. And as I mentioned to you earlier, you are in phase 1B2, so you will select that button too. And then last question is, what workplace or organization were you invited to? And you can just write WIC. And that's it. So you'll read these instructions again. It asks you to bring your ID, your patient ID number, as well as your insurance card to the appointment. Remember, you will not be charged anything out of pocket for your vaccine. And there are some phone numbers here to call if you have questions. You'll click I have read and understand this instructions, and you will click submit. And then you'll receive an email confirmation. And then the day before the event, we'll also email you as well to let you know that you are still scheduled and remind you of what to bring to the event. So that's it. Feel free to reach out to us if you have questions. We can be reached right here at 874-1211. Or if you have trouble with scheduling or registering through Vaccine Navigator, you can also call the state hotline, which is listed right here. So thanks everybody, and please get scheduled, talk to your physician, and we hope to see you soon.